Hello. Welcome to the Hard Reset. What just happened?
I want to hear about this video that you were telling me about. Remember we were talking about Mustangs and how like when they go around a corner, they just, for whatever reason, they just fall over. For no apparent reason.
I think what led into that is we were talking about all these idiots that they were, you'd see them taking off from these, the car shows. And they were hammering on these. They were hammering on these new Mustangs.
Yes. How much horsepower is too much horsepower?
Yeah, it was how much horsepower is too much horsepower. So, there's like I was talking about. There's like a montage of these videos or whatever. My son showed me of this. They called them crowd killers. That's what started the whole montage thing. Like to reverse back is we were in Lafayette. I had my son with me. We went up there for some reason. And this Mustang comes pulling in and it has hashtag crowd killer on the back of it, like all one word, right? And I'm like, ha, 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 crowd killer or whatever. And my son, Zayden, was like, you know where that comes from, right? And he's like, oh, man, you don't know that they call Mustangs crowd killers or whatever. And he's like, proceeds to show me the montage while we're sitting in like the mall parking lot in the truck of these Mustangs. And the vast majority of them is literally, it's, dare I say it, old dude like me, that couldn't afford it when he was younger, goes out and buys a brand new Cobra, that's like, a Roush Mustang or something. It's like 800 some horsepower.
Oh, are they still around?
No,
Roush?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah. So, they go buy a Cobra and apparently, Cobra's plan or Roush's plan or whatever is to go, stuff as much horsepower in the front of it, but they must not do anything with the traction control to take up, the said difference of 225 horsepower versus, 800 horsepower.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like a whole montage of these dudes. Some old dude, brings his Cobra. It's like $100,000 car to a car show. And then when they're leaving, it starts out, wholesome enough, if you will, is it'll have like an old Chevelle or something come pulling out there. And it's some old guy in the Chevelle and it's awesome, and the guy cranks on it, but he sits there in a straight line and he's basically just like it does a burnout. Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, then it slips to now people that are seeing this guy pull out on the road and do the burnout. Now they're starting to come around the corner out of the car show and they're hammering on it as they're going around the corner, because I guess some cars with less horsepower or whatever, it's easier to do a burnout if you're in a turn, or whatever coming out. Right. So they're compensating for the burnout by hammering on it as they're coming around a corner.
What are they compensating for?
For the lack of horsepower.
Oh, not the lack of.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So the montage or whatever that I saw, it goes on to, they must have like blocked off the road because now it's just a stream of these cars turning the corner, coming out of this car show and hammering on it. Right. Well, then it's like, it immediately goes to like the Mustang section of the car show must be all leaving at the same time because it's like one after another.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So like one after another, these Mustangs are coming out and they're hammering on it and they're like going all over the place. Well, you can tell where the horsepower is up. Like you can tell which one is not, that somebody just didn't put an exhaust on. Right. So now it comes out and you can see the Cobra one coming out and it sounds awesome or whatever comes out. Until it's like the 800 horsepower Cobra.
Right.
Well, then the dude hammers on this.
I love the sound of a whining supercharger.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these are probably, they all have the Whipple, whatever, supercharger, whatever. They, like the first one comes out and you can tell, man, it's, people are like, oh, that's awesome or whatever, because it's like $100,000 car that, this guy obviously bought, he didn't build it. He bought a staged, 37 Roush or whatever. It's like $100,000 car.
Right.
This guy comes and you can tell he also has never hammered on it before. And this is his time to shine. This is a show where his $100,000 went and he hammers on it. And they have this weird tendency, the Mustangs, of it's like the traction control comes in late and tries to straighten the car out. So basically the ass end will slide for a certain, it'll kick to the left at some point for a certain period of time. But then when the traction control does kick in, it slingshots it the other way. And then in this turn, or at this time, it basically rockets it across the oncoming lanes of cars. And depending on, what's in between, in this case, like the one I saw had a huge like one of those 1 foot cement dividers. You know, it's like technically it's a divider that, you know, like a walkway divider thing or whatever, but it's about a foot high. So, you know, that what that does to, you know, fiberglass front air dams on these cars, or in this case, A-arms and, you know, whole exhaust systems. But it's a montage of these crowd killers, as they call them, blasting across, slamming into cars. You know, Joel Snuffy is driving his F-150 down the road. He's coming the other direction. He has no idea what's going on because the other oncoming lanes have not been shut down. So he's just driving. Snuffy. He's trying to go to Dunkin' Donuts, you know, whatever. He's minding his own business. Next thing you know, he gets T-boned in the side by some $100,000 Roush Mustang because it slingshots, runs across, rips everything out from underneath the bottom of it, and slams into the side of his, you know, F1 titty or whatever he calls it. Right. So fast forward of our conversation that we were talking about is